Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and it's time for another episode of Is It Worth My Time? And this time I tackle the sci-fi series Wynonna Earp. Welcome, everybody. And let me take care of some business first, and we'll get into it. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, you're going to see at the very end of this video, a video pop up here. And if you like what you see there, hit the subscribe button down below. And also, if you want to know when to be on live again next, you get the bell down below here. It's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you. Best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com, where I've got my schedule up there. I put it up every week, a new schedule. And I've also got all the links to my social media as well. So Twitter, Instagram, and Patreon, but no tier set up as of yet on the Patreon. There is also links to this page, the YouTube page, and my Facebook page, and a Facebook group page where you guys can post stuff amongst yourselves and chat amongst yourselves as well. So there we go. So let's get into this. And I'm noticing my color changing. It's mood lighting again on the camera, unfortunately. So you're gonna have to deal with that one. Sorry. But what is Wynonna Earp? So Wynonna Earp is actually based on an IDW comic of the same name that was made by now I'm blanking on the name all of a sudden. Uh, Bo Smith is what the name of the uh, writer was of the comic, and essentially what the whole story is about is she is a descendant. Wynonna Earp is the great great granddaughter of Wyatt Earp, and she is a descendant, and she moves back to Purgatory, which is the hometown and where Wyatt Earp's ancestral home is. And this is in the middle of what's called the Ghost River Triangle. So Wyatt Earp got cursed, and every descendant of the Earps has to battle revenants, is what they're called. And what the revenants are reincarnated outlaws that Wyatt had killed when he was alive. Now they can only use Wyatt's gun Peacemaker in order to send the revenants back to hell. That's pretty much the whole gist of it. So upon her 27th birthday, the revenants return from hell, and of course, she has to take them out. And that's pretty much the gist of everything right then and there. Mood lighting. Yeah, I know. Any mods here know how to? No. The dislike button works, by the way, Philip. I tested it out earlier this today, so it works just fine. The So we also have Doc Holliday involved in this as well. And you're going to say, how in the hell is Doc Holliday involved in all of this? That's a separate story altogether. But yes, he is involved in this as well. And we also have a mysterious government uh, agency called the Black Badge Division, which is also involved in all of this as well. So it's supernatural in tone. It's also comedy. It's got uh, some good comedy, and it's got gore to it too. So there's all kinds of stuff there. And on top of all this, Wynonna is trying to find out what happened to her sister Willa, who was taken when they were teenagers by the Revenants. And the fucked up thing about this whole curse is that the Earp descendants can kill us all the revenants, send them all back to hell, but the immediately when they die, their children have to deal with this shit all over again. So the revenants are basically just trying to kill the last of the Earps so they don't go back to hell. And the Earps are trying to kill all the revenants to send them back to hell. And it's but of course that only lasts until they die, and then their descendants have to take over and deal with all this shit all over again. Mufino says I tried watching the show a while ago, but I couldn't get into it. It's a little bit of a different show. It kind of straddles between sometimes it's comedy, sometimes it's dramedy, and then sometimes it can go into soap opera. Sometimes, but not very often, which is good. But there's enough in there. It's not just the revenants that she's dealing with either. there are also other supernatural creatures and things like that. So it does have its base story, but it also branches out a little bit as well. And so Purgatory is supposed to exist right around the Canadian border. That way they can film, up in Canada, up that way. And they have already done 3 seasons of this. There's 3 seasons already in the can, and number 4 is coming out on July 26th on SyFy. So, is it worth your time, or is it worth my time to watch it? Yeah, you know what? If you're looking for some stuff that's fun, um, that you really don't have to think about for the most part, and has a decent enough storyline going to it, it's worth your time. So, Philip A. Demick says this show is a huge hot button for me. I like to debate if you debate it if you want to take the time. What's the hot button for you on this one, Philip? What's gotten you there? So there we go. So that is the non-spoiler version of that. So spoiler alert, there's spoilers from here on out. So we will be talking about spoilers for the show. I've seen all 3 seasons. Um, I think it's been a little over a year since the last season came out, but I remember watching it, and yeah, there we go. Thank you, Viking bitch, for the paddle. So, what's going on, Philip? What's your hot button issue that you've got on this show? I mean, so the cast of characters, by the way, so you've got Winona, you've got her sister Waverly, you've got the town sheriff, and also later on his deputy who comes in as well. Um, you've got Dolls, Agent Dolls, who works with Black Badge Division. You have Doc Holliday, like I said, and Doc Holliday, by the way, is immortal. That's why I had the spoiler alert going on there. And we find out that he was actually cursed by the Stone Witch in order to get rid of his tuberculosis, and as a result, he ends up becoming immortal. But he's still kind of tied to this whole Ghost River Triangle as well. Um, we also have Bobo Del Rey, which is the main revenant of all of this, and he is somehow tied to Waverly, and we don't find out until really around season 3 about how he's tied to Waverly. And of course, Willa, as we talked about too. The whole first season was dealing with what happened to Willa and all that kind of stuff. Um, Philip says to oversimplify, it's like they ripped off the first couple of seasons of Supernatural and said, "Let's make a female Supernatural." Um, no, not really. I mean, because that was dealing with one demon that the brothers were hunting, and then they were just demon hunters from then on out, and they were going all over the country. Whereas this is a cursed family that it just keeps going over and over again, and it's the same demons over and over again, and they only have one way of killing them. So, I mean, I don't see how that's the same as Supernatural. And I'm a fan of Supernatural as well, at least the first 5 seasons, because then it just gets really fucking ridiculous after that. So, oh, sorry, had a little bit of dog hair, I think, in my drink. I think is where that came from. Whew. So yeah, and I mean, the whole thing is, Wyatt Earp was actually cursed by a friend of his as he was dying. He was a sheriff that was dying, and it's Bullshare is his name, and he actually becomes resurrected in season 3. And there's a whole thing about angels, Stairway to Heaven, Garden of Eden, all this stuff that it gets crazy once you get into season 3. But yeah. Apple Crow says it's pretty hard to go over 5 seasons and not get really ridiculous. It's only 3 seasons so far, Apple Crow. Oh yeah, I mean, oh, you're talking about Supernatural going over 5 seasons. Well, yeah, I mean, originally Eric Kripke for Supernatural only had 5 seasons planned out, and he was done after 5 seasons. He left and went and did Heroes. Ugh. Yeah, the less said about Heroes, the better. And there you go. So I love the first 5 seasons of Supernatural. Like I said, it just gets wacky. I've seen up to season 10, I think is I might have left at season 9. I don't remember. It all blurs together now at this point. So, but yeah, I mean, this whole thing, I mean, they delve into what how Doc Holliday, how he became cursed or how he became immortal, what's going on with him. Also, Waverly may or may not be an Earp. She is kind of an Earp. Um, and there's some really weird shit there too. Um, like I said, you got angels involved, Stairway to Heaven, Garden of Eden, and Bolshare is actually trying to get out of hell by making his way through the Garden of Eden and get to heaven that way. And that way, he also. So at the end of season 3, and like I said, we're in spoiler alert territory. So I'm pointing to the little spoiler alert sign up here. At the end of season 3, Peacemaker is gone. It's been melted down into a sword. Bolshare has ended the Earp curse, and the Revenants are actually fighting with the Earps against Bolshare, and it gets crazier from there. Um, yeah, we have an angel that's fighting on their side as well. Uh, and pretty much Wynonna gets knocked out by Bolshare, and when she wakes up, pretty much everyone's gone except for her and Doc Holliday, and they got to find out where everyone's gone. Philip says this show is mediocre at best. Well, for you, it was. I could say the same thing about Agents of Shield, which let's just say, let's just call it what it is. And you know what? It's got some decent moments to it. And like I said, you've seen a hell of a lot worse shows on TV rather than this, like Agents of Shield. Um, oh man. But yeah, there's some good moments in it. Dolls as well. Agent Dolls is actually a half man, half lizard or half dragon creature, is what he is, who breathes fire. You find this out in the first season. So yeah. Um, good stuff. Unfortunately, IDW is the reason there was a big delay from season 3 to season 4. IDW has money troubles, and of course, they're supposed to front the licensing fee for this, even though they own the license. It's the way they do it in TV, and they didn't have the money. They had to raise the money, then they paid it, and by that point, the actors' contracts had expired, so they had to rehire the actors. It was all kinds of weird shit that was going on. And they got, I believe, 6 episodes into the can before the closures for COVID-19. So they're going to do 6 episodes, and then August they're going to have a mid-season finale, and then they're going to of course, film the rest of the episodes that are going on. So yeah, of course they end up dropping the Expanse, Killjoys, and Dark Matter, Philip, because this was lower budget. Those other shows you're talking about were expensive, and it's through NBC Universal. NBC Universal is the worst place to go for sci-fi. There's actually I'm going to be talking about this Saturday. There's a new show called Debris that's supposed to be kind of like the X-Files that's supposed to show up on NBC. And I made a joke that saying Debris is the name of all the sci-fi shows that only last one season on NBC because that's pretty much what happens to sci-fi shows on NBC. You don't do a sci-fi show on NBC. You really don't, because it doesn't last. So I think you're just giving it a hard time, Philip. But yeah, like I said, there's a lot of worse shit that's out there. So is it worth your time? Yes, it's worth your time. Just ignore what Philip says there. Give it a shot. Like I said, it's on SyFy, and I want to say it's on Netflix too. Yes, I think it is on Netflix as well. I remember seeing it up there. So you can always give it a shot. Uh, wouldn't that be Legend with MacGyver? I'm not following the Apple Crow on that one. Was there something called Legend with Richard Dean Anderson? I don't know. So, all right. What else do I have going on? Tomorrow is going to be Doom Patrol. That's right. Doom Patrol's on Thursdays. Friday, I'm off because there's nothing on Fridays right now. Saturday is going to be Saturday Morning Blast Off, where I take the genre news of the week and any other genre stuff you guys want to talk about, and we talk about it. Sunday, I'm off because, again, there isn't anything really out there. Monday is going to be Stargirl. Stargirl, Stargirl, Stargirl. Tuesday is where I'm pushing back to is it worth my time? I don't know what I'm gonna be doing next week. I'll figure it out what it is. And of course, Wednesday I'll be off, and then Thursday wraps around again to Doom Patrol. All right. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got on there. So I'm gonna plug one more time. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, remember to take a look at the video at the very end of this video. And if you like what you see here, hit the subscribe button down below. And while you're down there, hit the like button and maybe even the share button as well. Share it with your friends. I'm close to 1,000 subscribers. Come on, guys, just push it out just a little bit more. Push, push, you know. Yes, I know that sounded wrong, but hey, I've had a long day at work today and everything's nuts as it is. Um, if you want to know when I'm going live again next, you can hit the bell down below. It's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you. Best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com and take a look at the schedule up there, and also all the links to my social media as well. Dennis, isn't there something good starting this month? Yeah, there's a couple of things actually. Umbrella Academy, but Umbrella Academy is going to be dropped all at once. So I can't do episode by episode reviews of it because then everyone watches the first episode and they're like, yeah, and then everything peters out. So I do one uh kind of recap, I guess you could say, of that entire season and talk about it for like an hour, and then I'm done because everyone's binge watched it because y'all a bunch of greedy bitches and watch it all at once. There, I said it. Apple Crow says, yeah, Legend. It was 1995 on UPN and came and went. Oh, wow. Okay. Then, yeah, if it was on UPN, there was a lot of stuff that came out on UPN and flashed and burned. It was like flash paper, pretty much, that just went up and down. Or did they push everything back? There's some stuff being released, but there's not a lot of things being released, Philip. Not a lot. Again, if you go to suspendedfanimation.com and you go down in the schedule section, there's a section underneath there that says future stuff, and I've got dates on there. There's stuff happening at the end of the month, like Muppets Now, which, God help me, I'm actually considering reviewing because there really is nothing out there. Yeah, there really isn't anything out there. So, as a matter of fact, let's see what I've got on there because I can't remember what I put on there half the time. That's why I write it there so I know where to look. So yes, Wynonna Earp is on July 26th. Umbrella Academy season 2 is on July 31st. Muppets Now, which is going to be on Disney Plus and it's going to be weekly, is also on July 31st. The Witcher season 2 on Netflix, which again is going to drop all at once, is on August 17th. So that's August. And then we have to go all the way to September for The Boys season 2, which the first 3 episodes drop on September 4th, and then they go weekly after that. So yeah, there you go. There's a lot of stuff. There's stuff coming out. It's trickling out, but they want to, of course, hold on to it because they haven't gone back to filming yet. And most likely they won't because everything's closing back up again because a lot of you motherfuckers aren't wearing masks anymore. And you should be. Yeah. Wear a mask, wash your hands, social distance, or maintain a distance of 6 feet or 2 meters, depending on where you come from. There you go. And no, it's not a political thing to wear a mask. Just means that you're not a fucking dumbass and won't spread shit around if you're wearing a mask or face covering. There you go. All right. With that said, and that PSA, I'm going to let you guys go for the night. Thank you to everyone who joined me tonight in the chat. Thank you if you made it this far in the video. I'm going to see you guys again tomorrow for Doom Patrol. Anything on DC besides Doom Patrol? Yeah, Stargirl. Philip, that's what I've been doing. Stargirl and Doom Patrol. Doom Patrol and Stargirl. Stargirl, Doom Patrol, Doom Patrol, Stargirl. Apple Crow says, I look around and I see a lot more COVID cases, which means a lot of you are breaking the first two rules of Life Club. One, wear a mask. Two, wear a goddamn mask. Exactly. Thank you, Apple Crow. That is the rules of Life Club. Not to be confused with Fight Club, which you shouldn't be doing during a pandemic, because then you just spread that shit around all over the place. And that's the opposite of Life Club. All right. Remember, like, share, and subscribe. Take a look at the video if you're on the fence there. Up there is going to be, what is today? Oh, Stargirl's going to be up there. That's right, Stargirl. That's what I've been talking about. So there you go. So until tomorrow, I'm going to let you guys go. And until tomorrow, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may end up having a difference of opinion of TV shows because that's just the way we are. And that's actually a healthy thing. We can't all like the same shit all the time. It just doesn't work that way. Thanks, everybody. I will see you tomorrow. Have a good rest of your night. Stay safe. Wear a fucking mask. Wash your hands. And, be nice to each other. Thanks, everyone. See you tomorrow.